Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Entrepreneur, and forgive the background noise, the heater is on, and I promised Katie I wouldn't turn it off, so there you go. But anyway, welcome to today's episode of the Daily Rideshare, where we are pretty much going to discuss one topic, so don't worry about timestamps or anything, one topic, but we could be here a little while. I don't know, you see how long the video is, I don't know how long it is, but we need to talk about Uber, and I know a lot of you probably want me to discuss the class action lawsuit against upfront pricing, and I will talk about that at some point. But today, Uber announced that they have launched a new product, UberPOOL Express. Now, what is UberPOOL Express? Is it a good thing? Well, it might be if you're a rider, or maybe it won't be if you're a rider. And that's why this is an interesting one. UberPOOL Express is an Uber ride that is 75% off in UberX. It's a way to get around cheaper because that's all Uber does. They don't innovate. They don't actually make functioning products like flying cars and self-driving cars. I mean, those don't work. They don't do anything except make getting a ride cheaper. That's all they do these days. And they have found a way to do it again. Now, what is the catch? Well, here's the thing. UberPOOL Express, unlike UberPOOL and UberX, is an option where you call an Uber, and it'll tell you a spot to go to. It doesn't come to you necessarily, unless you happen to already be at that spot. You are to go to a spot designated for the UberPOOL Express. At that point, you will get in the car with a bunch of other people who want an UberPOOL Express, and the Uber will take you to another designated spot that's relatively close to where you want to go, and then you'll have to do a little walk. And so basically, if you're willing to walk a little bit, you can get a really, really, really cheap ride. Now, of course, this has so many problems, first of all, if you are a driver, you are totally going to get hosed. How do you think Uber keeps making things cheaper and cheaper? They lose $1 million a week sometimes on UberPOOL alone in San Francisco. They're going to lose more of this. Do you think they're going to subsidize more? No. They're going to take it out of your paycheck. Like, you think 72 cents a mile is low? You're probably going to make it like 25 cents a mile. I don't know if that's the actual final number, by the way. I'll make a future video when we find out exactly how much this pays. But yeah, it's going to be coming out of your pocket. Not only that, if you accept these rides, chances are you're going to get stuck in an endless loop where you're just going to the same spots over and over again for less pay. And of course, you are getting a bunch of people who don't know each other, some of whom are probably really drunk, and that causes problems. I mean, if anyone is on UberPOOL at the bar hour knows that you would probably be safer walking into a cage with a lion, and you would have a better chance not getting hurt than you would picking up 2 or 3 super intoxicated people using UberPOOL at 2 in the morning who don't know each other. Just saying. UberPOOL is puts more drivers in danger than anything else. UberPOOL Express is going to be worse. Now, of course, that's the driver's perspective, and I think the drivers need to say no. Well, actually, I'm going to say that for later. What about the passengers? Is this a good feel to the passengers? Probably not. In fact, passengers are already saying no to it. According to this article from Gizmondo, who usually writes pretty good articles in my opinion, you might actually be better if you took a bus. Let's look at the article. Uber announced Wednesday it's rolling out a new product, UberPOOL Express, a carpooling service targeted at commuters. Uber won't like this comparison, but honestly, just think of it as a bus stop. When a rider selects Pool Express, the app groups with nearby riders who are all going to destinations that are near each other. Uber then determines a smart spot for riders to walk to. From there, a driver picks everyone up at once and drops them off at a spot near all their destinations. Unlike traditional UberPOOL, there's a single pickup and drop-off spot for all riders. Uber piloted the service in San Francisco earlier this year, and now Pool Express is being rolled out in cities across the U.S. Uber told the Washington Post that Pool Express will be about 50% cheaper than UberPOOL. Other places have reported 75%, but let's go with the 50%. How is this not a bus stop? Uber director Ethan Stock shrugged off the bus comparison, saying ExpressPool isn't I don't know how to pronounce that word, to public transportation because pickup and drop-off points are algorithmically determined based on riders' locations and where they're headed, as opposed to being fixed routes with set pickup times. Quote, everything about the ExpressPool product is dynamic. Sure. But Silicon Valley need to disrupt everything by way of things sharing app and marketing contrivances leads to thunderously out of touch statements. It's so nice to read media who actually saying that about Uber. I wish they would say this when they were questioning their flying cars. From a conversation with The Verge and Uber's product head, quote, we think carpooling is very much the way of the future. Not only for our service, but we think the transformation of car ownership towards carpooling is going to be tremendously beneficial for cities, for the environments, for all the reasons that we're very familiar with, congestion, pollution, etc. Yeah, and I'm absolutely sure that your goal to get people accustomed to the service so that maybe they'll get rid of their cars, and a lot of people have gotten rid of their cars and become completely dependent on Uber, has absolutely nothing to do with your overall games. I'm sure that's just, what do they call it, a perk? Or whatever. Is Uber trying to rebrand carpooling and riding the bus as an eco-friendly gimmick? Stock's reasoning only makes sense if you forget car ownership is still a luxury for many people. No wonder this pilot started in San Francisco. But as it happens, I visited San Fran just last week and gave ExpressPool a few rides. It was fine? Question mark. In my experience, ExpressPool is about $2 to $3 cheaper than UberPOOL, a traditional shared ride, which makes it drastically cheaper than UberX, a solo ride. Still, there's at least one downside. It takes a few minutes for the app to determine the pickup and drop-off locations, and it takes a few more minutes for a car to arrive. Minor inconveniences, but still pretty annoying if you're accustomed to being whisked away in a Prius or just driving somewhere yourself. And that's like the key thing there. Customers are not going to want to do this. And here's the thing. You have never, ever, ever been able to communicate anything, I'm talking about Uber, of course, to the riders. Never been able to properly explain anything. There are still people who still don't know what pool is, who are still so shocked when they get in a pool and they find out that they're picking other people up. They're still shocked about that. There are people who do not know how to tip. The only thing customers understand is when the prices go up or when they go down. That's all they understand. That's the only thing Uber is able to educate anyone on, and that's not completely Uber's fault, in all fairness. People are just stupid. I mean, have you ever wondered why the self-checkout lanes never took off? It's because apparently that job that just anyone could do, yeah, people have a hard time doing that, apparently. And so that's why Target and Walmart have never been able to comfortably get rid of their cashiers. So I don't know what McDonald's think is going to happen when it's time for the minimum wage to go up. Anyway, when the information reviewed Uber's 2017 finances recently, it noted that UberPOOL has never been profitable. I actually didn't know that. I knew they lost a lot of money, but UberPOOL has never been profitable? Let's continue. But its cheaper price attracts new customers who otherwise might not use the app. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment because we're going to discuss this for a moment. That actually makes a lot of sense why UberPOOL is still around and why they're introducing Uber Express Pool or UberPOOL Express. I'm going to be mixing that up a lot in the future, I know. Because, okay, if you're trying to attract customers and you don't care about making money, that's a good way to do it. I mean, Amazon's been doing it for years, and I guess they're doing fine. I mean, they never make money, but they never seem to be going out of business either. But here's the thing. Uber can't keep blowing through the cash that they're going through. They just can't. So what happens when they take Pool and UberPOOL Express away? Those customers will drop them because it's exactly what it says. They are being attracted to this service for the price. At one point, Uber has to make money, and these prices have to change. And when they do change, when they go up, when they're not as cheap as they used to be, when UberPOOL is priced in a way where Uber now makes money officially, they're gone. We'll go somewhere else. They'll go back to the bus. I don't know if Uber realizes, but that's a battle they can't win. And who are we talking about exactly? Uber is aiming Pool Express squarely at commuters who want to save money but don't want to ride the bus. Quote, we would love to get into a state where people are confident in trusting us for their daily commute to and from work, whether those people are old and young within the city or suburbs. What we see is that public transit works really well on core high volume routes. In the diversity of moving all over a city, it becomes harder and harder for public transit to do well. Uber is really phenomenal at it. Pool Express is basically a fancy, dynamic bus stop meant to pull in consumers who would otherwise never think of Ubering to work. If anything, Uber is trying to get people to think of it as a convenient, cost-saving utility versus a commodity, and we all know what happens when things become utilities. Just ask the FCC. You find out you lose control over what you can actually do with it. So Uber might want to tread very careful water on that one. Obviously, traditional public transportation is more environmentally friendly than ride-sharing, but who wants to give the convenience of traveling faster with fewer people and closer to your actual destination? I think Pool Express will be a hit, but rather than congratulating Uber for reinventing the wheel, why not just ride the bus? So that article thinks that Uber Pool Express will be a hit, and it probably will be initially, because, again, people like cheaper stuff. Why do you think, I'm going to bring up McDonald's again, but McDonald's slashed their hamburger prices to 29 cents on Wednesdays. People bought dozens of these things every Wednesday. Burgers are absolute garbage. In fact, they were worse after that. That was a convenient way for McDonald's to put less meat in the burgers, sell them for what they're worth, and then once people got used to that size, well, the deal goes away. And now you're paying $1 for burgers that have basically 2 bites of meat in them, and it doesn't even taste good. That was the whole idea. It was a bait and switch. And it's the same thing with Uber Pool Express. Now, here's the thing. Where drivers have a lot of control in this, drivers, you can say no to Uber Pool Express. Don't pick it up. I know people say, well, boycotts don't work. This doesn't work. You know what? You can still choose not to accept these rides. And if you're not accepting these rides, then people aren't using the rides. People won't use them. And Uber Pool still struggles this day because there's a lot of drivers that have a strict no pool policy. I will not pick up an Uber Pool unless the surge is at least a 3.5 or higher. And that never happens. So whenever I'm in an area where there's pool, a lot of people don't get picked up. They just don't. I mean, I'm sure they do eventually, but they either get picked up way, way later, and they have to wait a long time. Way longer than what saving that 50 cents is worth, really, when you get down to it. Or they get frustrated and they accept Uber X. And you know what? Some people who take Uber Pool, like the drivers pick them up and then they give them 1 star just for using Uber Pool, so then they don't get Ubers at all at some point. So you know what? Drivers do have some control over this. They do have some power to kill certain services that are a bad idea. If you don't want Uber Pool Express to take a hold of your market, just don't do it. Just don't accept it at all. You are totally justified in not accepting it. And in fact, because Uber is going to be subsidizing the service with your money, you're going to be making less money than you are as Uber Pool. I can guarantee you, even though I don't know exactly what you're get paid, whatever it is, it's nowhere near what you should be paid. So just ignore it. Don't do it. Don't let Uber play around like this. And you can bet that it's probably going to my area at some point. I mean, my direct area does not have Uber Pool yet, but I definitely drive in areas that Uber Pool exists, and I can tell you Pool Express will be coming there. Express Pool. And I will not accept those rides. Never. We'll never, ever, ever do it. Not even to test it. Will not even give this product the benefit of the doubt in this case. And I don't think you should either. But, hey, that's my opinion. What do you think? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos I make, consider becoming a patron member for the $1 with every little bit helps. And boy, if you've been watching my videos, you know we could use the help right now. And as always, flame responsibly, and I will see you on the Daily Rideshare. Have a good one.